If only you could see the background. I was just going to say, if only you could see the background. What you've actually got is we're getting to see a little rendition of Revelator Alf's dance moves. His dance moves.
I was just warming up there.
I'm not going to lie, I've never seen them before, as much as I've been drunk many a time around you, Alf. But
no, I only save that for my worst enemies.
Well, there you go. That's a positive. That is a positive. Well, listen, welcome back to the West Ham Late Show with myself, Anton, and we're joined by, of course, Alf.
Hello. Hello. Yeah. For those of you who don't know me, I'm me.
We're expecting Mr. Lateness to join us maybe at some point. He is, however, still packing. He is going on holiday tomorrow. He's one of the lucky people in the UK that's decided to book a ticket and go abroad.
Everybody's chat is going, where's Stel? Where's Stel? We love you, Stel. We love you, Stel.
Well, he is going on holiday tomorrow, but he did say he would try his best to come on and join in and have a chin wag. And there's a lot going on, Alf, and yeah,
there is.
But listen, I mean, it's a late show. I mean, anything really does go, but everyone wants to know, Alf, where have you been?
Well, I've actually been under house arrest for about 10 days. So yeah, I haven't been able to do a lot, and I've been doing lots of research for future projects. As we know, lots coming on the channel in the future, and lots coming on for the new season as well. We've got a full package all lined up for everybody. But yeah, so I've been working in the background a little bit. I haven't. I've been doing none of that.
Basically, when you realize and you get to know Alf, what you realize is Alf talks sometimes in riddles, and also he talks and everything he says is the complete opposite to what actually happens. So Alf has just been chilling out, put feet up, doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I've been working very hard thinking. I've been strategizing, if that's a word. I've been strategizing. Just a bit like David Moyes. I've been, just trying to move my pawns in the right places, and
Well, listen, kind of you've just put me right on the first point. I mean, I wasn't even going to mention it, but there was loads of chat about what David Moyes had said recently about wanting to eventually take the Scotland international manager's job. I mean, that's a no-brainer for a top class manager who, I think really any English manager within reason would want to manage the English team. I think any Irish manager within reason would want to manage the Irish team. I think any Scottish manager, and it works its way all the way through. And I think what the comments were taken, I think some people have taken them out of context rather than in context. But it's a no-brainer, really, isn't it, Alf, that one day Moyes would want to manage his national side?
Yeah, I don't see any problem with that at all. I mean, hopefully it's not anytime soon. But I can see that in a few years' time if he's still successful. And obviously, Scotland need a decent manager to get them on their way. Yeah, I mean, the problem with Scotland is not so much the managers that have gone in the past, because they've always had decent managers. You hear them talk, and they're tactically astute and all that kind of stuff. So, but it's just the pool of players that they've got. It's a numbers game. They just it's only every once in a while they get a crop of players that seem to come through and start to play quite well. I remember a few years ago they were playing under McLeish. They did. I think they either qualified or they were very close to qualified, and they were playing some good football under McLeish. I think it was the first time around he was playing them, and I remember years ago under Craig Brown, I think they were playing some decent football as well. So every now and again,
you're going far back now, but listen, you know a lot more about the Scottish national team than I bloody do, Alf.
I'm just saying, every now and again they do. They don't flatter to deceive. That's the point. What I'm trying to say is they actually do play some decent football, but most of the time they're just they're not at that level, unfortunately.
3 years ago, though, you would never have said that David Moyes would have had a chance in hell of being able to even link himself to the Scotland manager's job, let alone be in the position he's in. Obviously, he signed a new contract with West Ham, 3-year contract with West Ham, and he really has turned his own career around, hasn't he?
Well, yeah, I mean, 3 years ago, I think, him coming into, well, was it 3 years ago? It wasn't 3 years ago, was it? Well, nearly. Him coming into West Ham and, everybody was ready to lynch him or lynch, the owners for even bringing him in. Nobody had any faith in him. So much negativity around him, even when he did what he was supposed to do. It wasn't glorious, don't get me wrong. But, he kept us up that season and we had a couple of decent results. But, yeah, most of it was still mediocre. But, again, he's fighting fires. They weren't his players. Everybody goes on about the Hugo signing. But, look, they weren't his players. And he was desperate for them to, the owners, that is, for them to say to him, right, okay, let's start afresh now. Carry on with the team, but they didn't do that for him. Went with Pellegrini instead, and it was a similar kind of thing. His second time around when he took over, he was fighting fires for the rest of the season. Luckily, we did pretty well at the end of it. But then this season, obviously, now everybody, well, I wouldn't say everybody loves him, but everybody recognizes what a great job he's done and what a great manager he is. And what does that mean? It means it takes time. It takes time to, mold a team, get players in, get rid of the players that aren't working for you and get players in, hard-working, decent players that do work for you.
Yeah. Do you genuinely believe, though, that he has full control over the transfers? I mean, we're going to go into the transfers in a minute.
Yeah.
And obviously, because we've got the title of the show being Welcome to West Ham's Summer Transfer Targets. Yeah. I mean, we've discussed players left, right, and centre. But do you think he's got a real strong hold of what's going on at West Ham? Do you believe in it all, Alf? Do you believe in the Moyes thing that he's doing, and does he have that control, or do you think Sullivan is still pulling those strings and still is the final deciding factor, even though that Moyes is bringing in his young son as scout and Rob coming in from Man City, etc., etc.?
Do you know what? When I saw that with Moyes and his son, I thought, oh God, here we go again. Pellegrini and his son. And I thought, and who's the last one? I thought, oh, here we go. What is going on here? But, with Moyes, the first time around, he actually, the rumours were, I mean, this has never been confirmed, but the rumours were that he was so shocked at what the lack of professionalism behind the scenes, or the lack of proper structure behind the scenes. He's basically saying, look, you've got to do this, you've got to implement this, scouting, the way you run the club. He's pretty much giving it to them on a plate, saying, look, this is how you do it, because they didn't seem to know what they were doing. They didn't go with him, they went Pellegrini, then he's come in again, and I think he's basically said to them, look, this is how you do it. And I think slowly he's had to win them over, because it wasn't unanimous across the board to get Moyes in, was it? No. Or to keep him, I should say. So it's taken a season like this last season for him to be appreciated, let's say, not only by the fans, but also especially by the ownership, by the board as well. And I don't believe any manager, no matter what they say, has ever got full control at a club, especially Premier League club, especially these days. It's always down to the owners. It's always down to the board, what they want, and they will take the manager as an advisory on recommendation, and they'll say, okay, well, we'll see what players we can get. But, because, a manager, we could get a Mourinho, let's say, and he says, right, okay, I want Lukaku, right? And Lukaku's worth £100 million. Well, who's going to make the final say?
Yeah.
It's going to be the owners, isn't it? The owners are going to say, well, no, you're not having that, or you are having it, or you've only got £50 million to spend or £30 million to spend. That's your lot. You spend it and spend it wisely, because if you don't get it right, you're on your way out. Yeah. And that's not just for Moyes, that's for any manager.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I totally believe in everything that Moyes is doing at the club, and I do believe that, of course, these guys, the people that are bankrolling it are putting their money in, and I think the question I'm going to ask to you now, Alf, and I'll ask it to everyone in the group. Let's be brutally honest. It's the 16th of July. In 15 minutes' time, it's going to be the 17th of July. We haven't signed a first-team player. Are you worried? And if you are, why? And if you're not, why? And if you're not, what's the deadline that you're giving West Ham to start bringing in players?
Crikey.
I asked you quite a lot of questions there, didn't I?
Okay. Let me address the signings that we have made. Again, these are young prospects. These are that are going into the under 23s, and we can see them for the future. But that means nothing for our first team right now. So so we haven't really made any signings, really. Well, certainly we haven't made any signings. But it's good that we're trying to attract players to the club, to the under 23s, and to bolster that youth, and to try and create competition back down there. Yeah. So that we can get some more cream rising to the top that hopefully can break to the first team. So that, for me, has always been the best model. The best model for any football club is never to buy, big money. It's always to get in young, nurture them, and then bring them up through the ranks. So from that point of view, I think that's a great move. Whether these kids will be any good or not, I mean, who knows? I can't profess to say that they're they'd be good or not.
I mean, I've been doing, just very touching briefly on that. I mean, recent shows have been doing. I mean, I got to see the players up at the training ground at St Andrews. I've been watching a few of the friendlies, and a few of them have stuck out. In particular, Ekwa. I think he's going to make the step up this season already. I genuinely believe that. Okoflex, he's a big lad. However, I do think he is one for the youth development. And I think, like you said, Alf, it's good to challenge those younger players that we've got in those ranks and give them that boost that they need. But I'll let you carry on. Sorry, mate.
No, not at all. I'm not. It's funny. I was just about to mention a couple of those players, not that you mentioned, but one of the lads that we've always talked about for the last few years, Connor Coventry. He scored in the last game, didn't he, against Northampton? Yeah. So I always wonder, well, is he going to make it? Is he going to make it into the first team? Or are we going to see him being sold off? Because any young player, you think, well, you get into 21, 22, and you're not breaking into the first team, I'd be thinking, do you know what? We might have to think about moving on now.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of growing up to do at that age still, and a lot of maturing, a lot of, game savviness, as it were, to build upon. But I still think if you're at that age and if you're not knocking on the first team, just like Johnson, just like who's the other lad who made a couple of appearances last season for us?
Can't think.
Oladipo. Is it Oladipo?
Odabiku.
Sorry. That kind of thing. We talk about Silva. Is he ever gonna? I know he had the long-term injury and all that kind of stuff. So, it's great that there's competition down there, but you ever wonder, are they ever going to make it?
I think, and I've always kind of, I think when you go back to like the Tony Martinez's and all that sort of stuff, and you think, well, were they really given a chance? I don't think he was. He's now found himself going and kind of working on the lower ranks of European football. Now he's at Porto, and he's questionably playing Champions League football. He has played Champions League football, so he's done well for himself to progress his career to that stage. Yeah. When it comes to players like Connor Coventry, I do think Connor Coventry's got an option. I mean, he's not small by no means. His legs are thick as anything, and he from the two games I saw him, I think he's looked good. He's been performing really well, and then we're up at the training. He was pivotal in the training session. He was pivotal in the bounce game. But I said during that session there was three particular players that actually looked lost, Alf, in that whole session. Zandy Silva, literally looked like a little kid running around against Big Ben.
Yeah.
Nathan Holland, which really kind of annoys me to say. I'm hurt because I want him so badly to have done well and do well. And then Mipu Odebiku, he did look lost, but he's still really young. He's still really young. The difference between him and the other two is he's really young. So there's now an opportunity for us to kind of get these players through the ranks. But then they'll put you onto the question, are you worried now about the lack of transfer activity for our first team?
Well, no, I'm not, because unfortunately there's always, we've had the big distraction of the Euros, and that always seems to put a halt on quite a few things. We've still got another month. No, actually, it's longer than that. When does the...
Well, I think the season kicks off on is it not the 15th? Let me just quickly...
15th, yeah. But when does the transfer window close?
I think we've got... I think, is it not like the 1st of August or so? I can't remember the exact date.
Yeah, so September. I mean, yeah. So look, there's still time. There's still time.
Yeah.
But my concern would be if we don't find somebody to partner or be a second or replace Antonio. For me, we desperately need another striker, a proper striker. We can't just
Sorry, just to interfere with you there. It's Tuesday, August the 31st. So we do have plenty of time.
Yeah.
There's a but to that, though. I mean, that's 2 weeks after the season has started. By that point, West Ham will have played, let me just quickly check here with my mathematics, 3 Premier League games we will have played. Yeah. Now, there's no ifs or buts about it, Alf. And listen, I remember me and you in particular sitting here, not this time last year, but right at the start of the lockdown. And then when the season ended, and then we were kind of sitting discussing, what do we do moving forward with the season? Do we think we'll sign players? And I think I remember us saying, like, maybe it's going to do the players a world of good to be around each other more than they've ever done, and really build upon that. I think that's benefited West Ham from a really shit situation. It's benefited our players. Yeah. And you could have forgiven, which we have forgiven, the lack of huge amount of transfer activity that we didn't have, but we brought in the quality which benefited West Ham. And now we're at the situation where we're thinking, right, okay, we've got a decent core, but we are thin with the amount of games we've got to do. And my concern, I'm not worried, but I'll be worried if, say, by the 1st of August, we haven't got any new signings in, because we're 2 weeks away from the season then. And, okay, you could say to me, well, Ant, what happens if we actually start with the same 11 minus Lingard that's finished the season? You could turn around and go, okay, but as long as we bring in recruits. And there's a question for everyone that's watching. Would you be happy if we didn't sign anyone come the 15th of August? Well, no, I don't think anyone would be happy if we didn't sign anyone come the 15th of August. Let's be brutally honest. That's the truth, isn't it? If we start the season, we've not signed a new player. That's not good.
Well, listen, when you're talking about signing a player, are you talking about buying or getting somebody on loan?
No, just in general, bringing someone in because at that point, at that point, then we know by that chance that there's no chance Lingard's going to come, because if Lingard's going to come, he's going to come before the season starts.
Sure,
that's where we're at, and I'm not trying to panic. I'm not trying to put that sense of panic in. But as West Ham fans, do you see the panic?
But would you be unhappy if we signed a defender, and that's it?
No,
you wouldn't be unhappy.
No, sorry, I would be unhappy. Yes, I would be unhappy.
Where do you think the priority signing is?
Well, I think there's a few. To be honest, I don't think there is a priority. I think we've had this discussion before, but I mean, striker, if not borderline 2 strikers. I think we need defensive midfielder cover. However, I think Ekwa is potentially up there. I think Coventry's got the chance to really prove his point this year. I think Noble still can do the job, what he's designed to do. Sure. And then there's no ifs or buts about it. We know Moyes is after a defender. He's said it for so long, and I found it massively interesting that David Moyes spent his whole training session up in St Andrews with the defence. He never moved from the defence at all. Yeah. He's obviously working on the fact that we do concede goals and we need to stop conceding goals.
Yeah.
And we've got an ageing defence, Alf. We really do have an ageing defence. So I'm not saying that defence is a priority over strikers. We need strikers. Of course we do. We can't rely on a season full of Antonio. And I don't think we will.
But who have we got there back there now? Who have we got there?
In defence,
I mean, who have we got? We've got one guy who we all thought was brilliant, or when he started playing was brilliant, and then he started to tail off and start making a few mistakes, and he's 34, 35, whatever he is. Dawson, how old is he now? 34, 35?
No, he's not that old. He's Craig Dawson's 30. Is he not 30? Oh God, good question.
I thought it was 34. He could be 32, whatever.
He's 32.
Okay, Ogbonna is
31.
Okay, so he's got a couple of years left. Okay, that I'm being a bit unkind to him there. So he's got a couple of years left. Ogbonna, Diop, Balbuena's gone or going. Has he gone? Has he? No, he hasn't actually gone yet, has he?
Who, Diop?
No, Balbuena.
Balbuena. Yeah, no, he's gone. He's officially left.
Yeah, he's definitely gone.
But just out of interest, today, and this probably brings us on to a good topic of conversation, is there's lots of rumours now talking about Diop leaving the club. Yeah. And clubs like Crystal Palace, Southampton, and Wolves are looking to be interested. We've got a good friend over at Talking Wolves, and they're doing quite regular stories on Issa Diop now, as if he's a target, a strong target for Wolves. I mean, listen, if we were to sell Issa Diop, where would you be at with that?
I'd be fine.
I don't think you're a fan, are you?
I am. No, I am a fan. You're making me out to be the bad guy tonight. No, I am not. I am not a fan. Put it that way. But I think he just makes too many mistakes. He's made too many mistakes in key points, and then they've directly led to conceding goals as well. So, if you give me Ogbonna, you give me Balbuena, I'd have Balbuena over Diop in terms of somebody you can trust back there. But obviously, Ogbonna and Dawson, that's who we need. But we need somebody else in there. We because we get any kind of injury to Ogbonna and Dawson. We definitely need somebody else in there. And Diop is there right now, but obviously I think we still need somebody else. And if he's going to go, then obviously we need to replace him again. We need somebody for Krez. The right side, I think we're okay with Sufal and Fredericks. But for me, the priority is a striker. The priority is absolutely the striker.
I'm actually going
to. If Antonio gets a knock, which he will miss games. There's no doubt. It's not even a speculation. It's a definite. He will miss games. We need somebody who can go in there. Let's not forget, we've got rid of Hernandez. We've got rid of Haller. We've got rid of Arnautovic. Players that we haven't really replaced in that forward line. So we've only got Antonio there, who's kind of deputized, as it were, or he's kind of grown into that role. So we need somebody to help him out.
Well, I'm just bringing up to you the current. We'll go through this very briefly, and you'll see the squad that we've currently got. So you've got Lucas Fabianski, David Martin, and Darren Randolph in our goalkeeping ranks. I mean, is that strong enough? I mean, I know there's strong rumours here, and we'll go through it briefly. There's strong rumours that we're in talks with Areola, and we are potentially interested in Sam Johnston. Now, we're putting two and two together and looking at the Sam Johnston deal. We've done a story on it last night, and we're saying that, do we think that David Sullivan would make a move and West Ham would make a move for Sam Johnston? Yes. Do we think we would make a cheeky move for him? Yes. Why? Sam Johnston's got one more year left on his contract at West Brom. They've been relegated and they have admitted they are going to sell him. They value him at £10 million. What do we do? Probably put a lower bid in. So that's a no-brainer. Areola, on loan at Fulham last year, looked really good. PSG, great experience, a little bit more money. However, we tried to dive into the numbers last night, and it's actually not too far away in terms of what you'd need to pay to bring him in for a minimum of a season. He could progress it. So if we bring those players in, we're going to be fine in our goalkeeping ranks. If we don't, Alf, are we fine in our goalkeeping ranks as it is?
No, we're not. Yeah, definitely not. Because Martin, with all due respect, he's a good training keeper. And he's bailed us out a couple of times, but we know that he's not he's not a second keeper, and and Randolph is barely that sometimes really either. And I'm probably doing him a disservice as well, but he just hasn't played enough games as well. And you got to wonder about Fabianski as well. He's picked up a couple of knocks. He's gone through poor form as well, but he's also got back to good form towards the end of the season as well. So I do wonder about Fabianski in terms of long-term fitness as well. We need another top keeper in there, definitely.
Yep. Listen, before we continue with this, I'm going to ask everyone who's in the chat. There's lots of you in there just now. We're going to ask everyone for a target of 150 thumbs up. So if you are watching, the thumbs are literally just down below. Alf, I believe they are. Yep. And hit the thumbs up. It really helps the channel out. Helps algorithms, all that sort of stuff. Hit them. We're going for 150, but at the end of the show, we want to make sure we've hit 150. If you're also new around here, please hit the subscribe button as well. Please hit that subscribe button. It'd be really beneficial for our channel to do that.
No. You don't ask them. You tell them. Oi. Thumbs up. Right? Got it? Got it. Right. See? That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
That's how you get stuck in, mate. You just stick your noggin in there and then it's... Hold on a minute. Let me bring that up. Let me bring that up. Right, go on. Go on.
Thumbs up. Oi, you watching. You in the chat. Oi, thumbs up. Got it.
Yep. 150 is our target tonight.
There's 146 of you watching right now. Thumbs up.
Yep, absolutely. So get involved, and then obviously, like I said, subscribe as well. We're looking for more.
You know what they're going to do? They're like, I don't care. We're going to.
Yeah. Well, if you don't enjoy it, put the thumbs down. That's the nature of it. But then what I want you to do is we're going to go through the squad briefly. Got more subjects to talk about. So whilst we're doing it, I'm going to ask you in the chat, tell me about the goalkeepers, and we'll go through the comments. We'll go into the comments and engage with you in a minute. So while I'm doing it, talk to me, guys, in the chat about Fabianski, David Martin, and Darren Randolph. What's your thoughts on them, and Areola, and any other keeper that you are looking about or looking at and thinking we should do it as well? Myself and Alf are going to start going into the defenders, and here you go, Alf. We were talking about the defenders as such. We've got Winston Reid, we've got Aaron Creswell, we've got Vladimir Soufal, we've got Frederick Alves, we've got Craig Dawson, Angelo Ogbonna, Issa Diop, Ryan Fredericks, Arthur Masuaku, and Ben Johnson. And to add matters to the equation, we've also got a certain Mr. Stelios Kyriakos who's decided to join us late after all.
Good evening, Stel.
I'm not staying on that long.
No, he's knackered. He's turned his microphone on. He's going to rub it into everyone. He's going on holiday. He's packed his bags. He's under stress. His suitcase is sitting there. Do you want to rub it in anymore, Stel?
I'm going on holiday tomorrow. I'm going somewhere really hot, really sunny. I'm not going to even think about Irons United for the next eight days. It's all on you, Anton.
So does that mean then Does that mean you're not going to be texting me every single day like you do every single day?
I don't anyway. I mean, actually, what the good thing is that I've actually found out that in Portugal, we don't get Scottish links, so I won't get a WhatsApp message from you for the next 8 days. So that's absolutely amazing. It's a bonus, an absolute bonus.
What would be really good is if
He's going to miss you.
What would be good though, Alf, would be is if Stel actually turned his microphone on, then maybe we could hear him properly.
Oh, that's right. And me not having to text him whilst he's doing his live stream.
There's nothing wrong with my mic.
Put the microphone close to your mouth. That's what you need to do.
Well, yeah, thanks, Dad. Yeah, the one that sounds like Darth Vader whenever he's on the show. Yeah, thanks for that tip. Yeah, right.
Right. Listen, we're talking about defensively, where West Ham are at. I mean, we're asking everyone in the chat to go through their goalkeepers. Are they happy if we don't sign any players in the goalkeeper ranks? Now we're bringing up the defense here. We know that Moyes is interested in a defender, but what we're asking everyone in the chat also is related to the fact that we're not signed anyone yet. When do you panic? When do you not panic? And at what stage? And at what stage does a player become a priority? So this is why we're looking at the current crop of players we've got in the squad. Anything you want to add to that still?
Well, let's panic at the end of this month if we haven't signed anyone. And of that list that you've got there, you can kiss Winston Reid goodbye. And I don't mean that because we have the banter over it, but I actually don't think he'll do anything for us this season. I still think Ryan Fredericks might be sold if £5 million offer comes in. And Arthur Masuaku just hasn't gotten over his injury. So I think there's 3 players there that you could say. Moyes has said he wants a central defender. He hasn't talked about a left back. He hasn't talked about a right back. He's talked about a central defender. And what you and I have seen, Anton, I don't know if you've seen it, Alf, in some of the pre-season friendlies. It looks like we've got the left side covered with Alessi. Yeah. So it's all about bringing in a centre back. And once we bring in a centre back, it's going to be Dawson, Ogbonna, Diop, and a 4th centre back who will be first choice alongside.
We have heard tonight that clubs are making offers for Issa Diop. Now that doesn't mean that West Ham are willing to sell, but there's chat of Wolves, Crystal Palace, Southampton really interested. I'm not saying he's going to go. I'm just bringing it to the table. Yeah. If he does go, do you think there is a chance he could go? I mean,
no.
Alf, I was at St Andrews. He was training alone with the new fitness coach we've brought in over the summer. He played a little bit of the Dundee game and then wasn't to be seen anywhere of the Northampton game. It would mean
we'd have to buy 2. We'd have to bring in 2 centre backs.
Yeah.
At the moment, we're not even bringing 1 in, so I can't see that he'd go, unless, of course, you've got Alves there. Unless, of course, Moyes really does believe that one of the youngsters is ready.
Yeah.
And then maybe replace Diop and still bring another central defender in. But I can't see the logic in letting Diop go. And let's not forget, we had teams like he's being talked about by teams like Man United last season and the season before, etc. All of a sudden, it's Wolves and teams like that. No disrespect to them, but he ain't going to go to a club. No. It's just as much as all the talk is about all the players that we're buying. I'm sure other clubs go through the same thing with all the players that they're going to buy from us.
Yeah.
So no, it ain't.
We'll move into the midfield in a minute. There's loads of comments. So people are saying Ollie, DC, Areola is class. I'll bring that back out. It's just easier. Mickey, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Fabianski is good, but I think you need another backup. Areola on loan would be great for you. I don't think he'd be a backup though, Mickey. I think he would come in and be a starter. Do you agree with that one, Areola?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think I don't think we're of a club size to bring in somebody like Areola to have him sit on the bench.
Yeah.
You know.
Howard is saying sell Randolph and bring in Areola on loan with an option. I mean, do you think that's even an option? I mean, would that be a way of saving more money? I mean, I don't even know what Randolph is on a weekly wage. What would we generate as an income? Would it be worth it? Do we need 4 goalkeepers?
If truth be told of what Areola's real salary is, it might be something like a third. Randolph might be on about a third of what Areola's meant to be on. So he's on about 50-60 grand a week, I think, Randolph.
God, that's a lot of money, isn't it, for a complete and utter backup keeper?
That's too much.
Premier League money.
Yeah, that's way too much. Yeah. We'd have to get rid of Fabianski for that. Yeah. We'd have to relegate Fabianski to second keeper, to cup keeper. Well, he could be the the cup keeper and also the Europa cup keeper, Fabianski.
Yeah, we said that. Yeah, we said that the other day, mate. Yeah. Like, someone suggested it in the chat, which was a really sort of sensible suggestion that one of the players would be the Premier League keepers and one of them would be the cup and the Europa League keepers. I'm going to look up Darren Randolph's salary.
Yeah. Vinay is saying Fabianski's brilliant, but aging, so talented. He can incorporate a walking stick to make saves. He one good year left. Well, he could join Alf and Stell with the walking stick. They could go on out.
You're not that young, mate. You're not that young.
Yeah.
You're not that. Don't worry about him, Alf. He's gotten on just because he's the youngest of us 3.
What?
But the thing is, mate, he looks older than both of us. That's the irony.
I thought that was older than both of us. Actually, I thought it was a bit. Now, where is my walking stick? I need to get up.
Randolph is on 42 grand a week.
I'm so offended. I need to get up very slowly and walk out the room.
Go take your meds. Toby is saying, Mr. Toby Sampson, Spanner is in the house. Martin is pointless if we sign another keeper. Randolph is great for a third keeper. If we sign either keeper, Fabs won't be a starter season after next.
We've got to think about we've said this so many times. It's all about proper competition for Fabianski and a suitor for when Fabianski finishes his career at West Ham at the end of this season. Sure. And we said it before. I think we said it the other day, Anton, about how when Adrian came in and started to play games whilst Jääskeläinen was sort of being eased out, and Adrian in his first season wasn't the starter, Jääskeläinen was, and yet Adrian played a number of games. And then you saw Fabianski, come in whilst Adrian was still there. I can't remember if they overlapped or not. And then Adrian decided that he wasn't going to be the number one. And again, there was a slight overlap. And that's what I think that's sensible. I think that's why there's talk about goalies at the moment.
Yeah.
And Areola.
This is an interesting comment. Cheers, Toby. Good man. Thanks for that. That was a good shot stopper, but poor on crosses, and his distribution is now letting him down. I think he's got a niggle. I think there's a niggle somewhere in Fabianski. I think we all know he's sometimes down with an injury, and he's sometimes we've pinpointed this in some of the warm-ups and also in some of the games that he's struggling to kick the ball from the goal kick.
There was one game towards the end of the season, and he let in a goal, and for the life of me, I cannot remember which one it was. But it was a shot to the right. I'm sure it was to his right. And he didn't extend his arm. And the goal went in. And we're all saying if he just extended his arm, he would have easily saved it. There was something about his mobility to get to that side. And ever since, or before then, I've thought, is he moving right? Is he got... No, I'm sure they wouldn't let him play if he hasn't got proper mobility. But I've got a feeling there's something not quite right with Fabianski when he's going to the right hand side.
I think he's been carrying a knock.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think Randolph, he's in his last year of his contract. I wouldn't be surprised if he was sold to a championship team that is looking for promotion.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me one bit. That's another couple of £1 million. He won't go for too much, but a couple of million. Yeah. We need to, we're in Europe. We need two keepers that are competing rather than a keeper with a backup.
And I think this is what we said last night. These two keepers have brought West Ham's attention to them. They're available, and West Ham have now saw the opportunity to go for them. And like Bernie's saying, I mean, Stell, are you off to Southend on your holidays, mate?
A little bit further than that, mate, Bernie. Actually getting on a plane for the first time in over a year.
But 18 months, is it not?
Yeah.
Did you go away?
And it ain't Scotland that I'm flying to.
Thank God for that. Ryan Chunk, David Martin is a fan, not even on the level of a third keeper. Randolph can become the third keeper, and either Johnson or Areola fight for spot against Fabianski. I think that'd be great competition, to be honest. I think it would be. And like Alf said, and like we said the other day, it would be good to have that kind of Europa League keeper, domestic cup keeper. I mean, if you play Europa League and I don't know what the rules are. If we don't qualify for Europa League, do we then go into the Europa League conference?
Don't know.
I think there is a route into that, though. So you've got the potential to play potentially upwards of 10 games in Europe next season, minimum, if you don't even...
We'll be going the whole way, mate. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm saying minimum, though.
This time next year, we'll be sunning it in Seville because we'd have just won the Europa League.
Could you imagine?
I'm not imagining it. I'm making sure I'm getting tickets for it now.
Well, listen, actually, here's something interesting for you. Both of yous have tickets to our next couple of friendlies in England.
Are you going, Alf? Are you going to Brentford?
No, not the Brentford one.
Oh, you're not?
No, it's the Reading one.
Oh, you're going to Reading.
Oh. Okay, so I've got tickets, 2 tickets for the Reading game, which my lad is going to go, but my other half, she's going to go because I'm working.
Oh,
so
right.
I did the nice thing and I bought them tickets, you see, so they could go.
That's nice.
And I can't go.
I'm going to Brentford. I'm going to Brentford.
Yeah, I'm working again. I was saying to Anton before we came on, it's just like I'm working every pre-season game. I really wanted to go to the Atalanta game because they're a tidy outfit. Atalanta,
or Betway Cup.
Yeah, and I thought that'd be a really good test for us before we start the season. Great choice of team for us to go up against, I think. Yeah. And that'll be a great game.
Are you not going to Celtic? Because Anton's putting us all up for the Celtic game.
Yeah, you won't be able to get to Celtic because I've just double checked the rules and regulations. So even though we change on Monday, our rules change. We don't change to the level that you do. So they're not allowing maximum capacities at stadiums. So Celtic are playing a friendly in the next couple of days to 2,000 people for the first time. So I think that come whenever that game is, which is what, in 7 days' time or whatever it is, I don't think the rules will have changed too much. So I don't even know if I've got even a remote chance of getting inside that stadium, unless unless I know someone who's a season ticket holder, which I do, and I don't know what the rules are for that. But anyway, let's get back onto the team. Tarkowski being a link to West Ham before, a link again. Is it realistic? Are we going to bring him in? I'll put this one to you, Still.
I think it's realistic. Will it happen? Just don't know. I think, I'm wondering if David Moyes has had his fingers burnt with Burnley last season when we put bids in for him, and we went up to £31 million, and they still went nah. And I don't know if Moyes wants to go through that shit with Burnley again, to be quite honest with you. But if he's going to go for 15 to 20 million, and they say, let's not forget it's his last season at Burnley, you can walk away for nothing. And there is talk about the player has decided that he's going to stay at Burnley for another season and literally walk away for nothing. And Burnley ain't going to want that. So they might be forced into selling him for a cut price. All that crap last season. They could have got 30 million off us for him last season.
Sure.
And to be fair, that would have been we literally would have had our pants pulled down, even if he had a great season. It was just that it was absolutely.
There is another defender who I just found out yesterday who is now a free agent. Well, he's out of contract, let's say, right? And he's just won a major trophy as well. And
I'm really concerned about one of
the finest defenders ever.
Oh God, here we go.
In the history.
Oh, sorry, we've got a troll.
We've
got a troll. I need to block him. Let's block him. Get him gone. Oh my God! Someone block that guy, please.
Done. Idiot.
How'd you block that then? How'd you block them?
There's an option there.
Can you do it on here? Can you?
Yeah.
Was it on the three dots?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, gotcha. Anyway, so it's Chiellini. Wouldn't you like Chiellini? Wouldn't you like Chiellini in for just a season?
I think in the Premier League he'll get sent off every other game.
Oh, come on! Can you imagine it? Chiellini and Bonucci on the back.
How old is Chiellini? Just out of interest,
36. I think
he looks like he's fucking 76.
Yeah,
he really does look.
I don't think they'd be good in the Premier League anyway. I think it's just too quick.
Yeah, it's too fast for them.
They're designed for Italian football, aren't they?
Yeah, and international football. Yeah, and Italian football. Yeah, but that,
Tarkowski, I mean, we could go back in, get him at a cut price. I don't know. We've done shows on loads of players.
Lost track.
Yeah, we lost track on it, but we think there's going to be some players coming in there. And like you said, still, we've maybe got options: Baptiste, Alessi, Frederick Alves, whom in the last game that I saw, I massively wasn't impressed with. However, against Dundee, he did look okay. So, what is he back? Oh God, he's go again. He's done it.
Done. They won't let me block him.
Have you? Unless Toby, maybe if Toby's in the chat,
Toby's done it already. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Moyes has played his cards. He's already said he wants three positions to fill: centre back, attacking midfielder, stroke Lingard, and a striker. Yep. So we've got to believe that he will buy a centre back, even though we've got some decent youngsters who I think one or two will get a shout in some competition this season, whether it be in the cups or whatever. But he's going to go and buy. He's going to go and get a centre back, and we know what Moyes is like. He likes his. He likes the older players at the back, doesn't he? So we're going to go and get a centre back who's going to be 28, 29, 30.
Yeah. Listen, let's come away from the defence for a minute. Let's move on to the midfield. Now, this week, it was the longest and most like well-known story that took so long for the clubs to announce. The player had actually completed 3 days of training with his new club before West Ham, and Lazio haven't officially actually announced it on their website yet either. But Felipe Anderson officially is a Lazio player. He's gone from West Ham, and as soon as it was announced on the West Ham website, literally minutes later, Pablo Fornals is seen on Instagram buzzing about his new shirt number.
Yeah,
new number, but same excitement and more.
I like
desire.
that touch from West Ham. To be honest, I like Fornals has been given that shirt.
Yeah,
to be honest,
yeah,
I think it's a really nice touch.
Yeah, he had a great season. So
definitely. I mean, considering that when you go onto the West Ham website to buy a shirt, they say don't commit to players' numbers and names, but they've made a massive deal about Pablo Fornals in this season. But this is our midfield, guys. This is our midfield without any of the younger players in there. I mean, listen, we do know that. Let me just show you the forwards that West Ham count are Yarmolenko, Bowen, and Benrahma. So we'll just bring all of these players into the equation. But we've got Pablo Fornals, Lanzini, Noble, Souček, Rice, Yarmolenko, Benrahma, Jared Bowen, and Mikel Antonio. Well, where are we at with our midfield?
We probably need somebody else in there. Maybe another couple, I would say.
Yeah.
Souček and Rice, obviously, they're the main two, aren't they? Right in the centre. Lanzini, are we looking at? I've seen 4 Nels as well. So those are the 3.
So we're saying really, like you said, Souček, Declan Rice doing the job that they do. Noble being the backup as it stands. Lanzini going to sit in deeper this season. No ifs or buts about it. And Fornals being the kind of the potential to do the same really is sit deep or go forward or cover left and cover right.
But is Lanzini staying though? That's the thing.
I think he is, Alf. Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Absolutely. And I mean, another bit of news today that came out of Manchester United actually was the supposed photo embargo that you weren't allowed to get a photo of Jesse Lingard, and then Manchester United's Twitter account showed this picture today of Jesse Lingard in training saying, "Guess who is back?" I mean, it's weird seeing him there and not in our colours. And but I mean,
wasn't it that they weren't allowed to take photos of him in Man United kit?
But he's in the Man United gear there.
Yeah, but it hasn't got the emblems on. Oh, yeah, I suppose.
It does, yeah. So what actually happened was yesterday there was a news story that broke saying that you couldn't purchase a Manchester United strip, and on the website the option for Lingard 14 wasn't there. But live on the show last night, when we were doing a show last night, I went onto the Manchester United website and Lingard 14 is now on the website. And today then they've put the picture up. Do you read anything into that though, Alf?
No, I think because understanding the way websites work and everything, and especially this time of the year, the things are always going to be changing on websites, and so I don't read too much into it. Definitely, I read more into the fact that they didn't want to. The rumor was that they didn't want his photo taken, and I was like, okay, that's an interesting one, because then you've got to think about, well, we don't want a photo taken because we've got promotional stuff to make. We've got calendars to print up and all that sort of stuff. We don't want to have a photo of a player that we're not going to include in a calendar or whatever. So, I get that, but yeah. So it's. What
do you think, still?
I think he's staying at Man United. To be honest with you,
I think he's coming. I think it's just a matter of time. I think it's only a matter of time. I think now that Sancho's in and Mata has extended his contract by another season. You know what? There is an alternative, actually. There is an alternative that they might sign a new contract with Man U and they'll loan him to us next season.
There is another player I know that's might be up for grabs, apparently.
Go on.
Yeah. Chiesa, a young fella from Italy called Chiesa.
Is he not about 100 million?
Something like that. Apparently he's untouchable, but Chiesa, apparently.
Yeah, well, Declan's untouchable until we sell him. Yeah, so there you go.
There we go. Yeah.
I think Lingard's on his way. I actually really, really do. I think it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of
There
time.
was, I don't know if you heard, there was the interesting rumor that came out either yesterday or the day before that Lingard apparently had a chat with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and basically said that if I'm staying here, I want to play. I have to play. And I think the answer come back to him and says, well, you're not going to play, or you're not guaranteed to play.
But I really don't think he is. Again, like what Stel said, if you're bringing in the likes of Sancho and you've got Mata extended his contract with the amount of players that they've got in that area, he is not guaranteed football time. And I mean, listen, I know he might want those guarantees at West Ham, and David Moyes will probably say to him, I can't guarantee any player any time. Just come and do your job, and if you do your job, you'll be guaranteed a spot. Yeah. And that's actually probably how he manages that situation. But I think
he hasn't got the competition at West Ham like he does at Man United, has he? So if he comes to us, let's say, or any other team, let's say, with less competition in his general area of the field, he's gonna, he'll do a lot better, won't he?
Well, yeah, I think he will, but I think there comes a time where, again, when you look at the Manchester United, listen, I don't like Twitter, I'm going to say it again, but loads of fans were on there saying, let him go, just let him go, stop. It's a little bit like, I wonder if there is that element of...
West Ham fans saying?
No, Manchester United fans.
Oh, Man United fans.
And I wonder if there is that element of going, just they like him as an individual and thank him for what he's done for the club, but I don't think a lot of them want it. They want the announcement of Jordan Sancho. They've moved on from that. And I think, and it sounds like most of the fans have moved on from the Lingard situation. But it's like Man United are playing that brush with West Ham and any other club that's interested, and making. I can't help but feel that Man United are playing that game with West Ham by going, here he is on training. Oh, we're potentially signing a player. We may use him as bait to bring that player in.
I think some deals already been done. It's just a matter of time of when it's going to be announced. I think Man U know he's not going to stay. West Ham know that we want him. Man United know that we want him. I think conversations are already being had. We keep hearing that Lingard has already had conversations with Solskjaer, so there must have been an outcome because of that.
Yeah.
I just think it's just it's interesting because someone said in our show yesterday, is not signing Lingard holding up all the other signings, and I hope that ain't the case.
Well, do you think it could go even further though? Still, it could be Declan Rice.
Fuck that!
No, not leaving. Declan Rice's new contract that we're
because that'll be sorted.
Yeah, it will be.
But do you know what? I think that's all posturing, though. I think that's just standard stuff that they all say, oh, we're not going to sign that. I'm going to reject that. Yeah. And it's going to be down to some kind of clause, whatever, that they're going to, and eventually he'll either sign or he'll go, but this whole thing, we're not signing and everything, I won't make too much of that right now.
No, I agree with you. Yeah.
Anyone that's watching, we're on 82 likes. Put the target up for 150. Hit those thumbs up, please. Do it now. We need to get to that 150 before the end of the show. We're on 82, so please go and hit those thumbs up. Carry on.
Remember, like.
Thankfully, I came on and we got him.
He's really boring, and he just goes on about himself all the time. So listen. I don't doubt for a second when we look at this between the players there. I mean, Yarmolenko. I mean, there's a strong possibility he will leave.
That's I heard. It was the other day, wasn't it? It's Fenerbahce apparently very interested in him now.
Yeah, and I think I think he's going to want
player.
I think he's at the stage of his career though, isn't he? That he's going to want to play.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
A league like the Turkish league would be absolutely ideal for him. Yeah. He'll probably play a whole season without getting injured. That would be the
player, lovely, classy player. Scored some absolutely fantastic goals. Did not disappoint in the Euros, but not for us. That's the bottom line. Not for us. Not for the Premier League now. At his age and with his injury record, unfortunately.
Do you know what I don't understand? People, I'm going to stop responding to these people who do this, right? But they literally must have nothing else to do but create profiles and just go absolutely crazy.
They're sad
literally
fuckers, mate.
sad. Yeah,
they're
really
sad fuckers.
I had it recently on one
and
of
they
the shows.
actually ruin it for everyone as well.
Yeah,
and
but they were creating.
You know,
what I don't understand is they create all these names, but I think what we need to do is probably just completely ignore it because it gives them the attention. It just shows you exactly what they do. It's mental what they do, though. Ben Rama. Ben Rama's there. Big season for him. How are we all feeling about Benny?
I think he definitely has to reach his full potential this season, and I think he needs to start scoring. Start scoring on a regular basis. We've given him that season. I don't want to be too harsh. I don't want to be too critical. But he lacked a lot. He lacked finishing last season. He was hesitant at times in the early part. He lacked his finishing. As with you know my thoughts on both him and Fornals in terms of being hesitant. And it was only until Lingard came along, I think he showed them how to just take a shot. Take a snapshot, whatever it was. And I think they started to improve a little bit. But yeah, he's definitely got to improve in the end product department for me, for Ben Rama.
But interestingly, look at Bowen in pre-season. He's kind of seems to have taken that on board. I want to come on to Zach's comment. Zach, mate, it's a good point. But if we sell Yarmolenko, we're short of wingers. Let's not forget, Yarmolenko started one Premier League game last season.
We're not sure.
And
we're not sure.
I'm not even. I wouldn't even include him, even if he stayed. I wouldn't even include him in the, in thinking about who might be starting and who might actually be backup. For me, he's almost third choice. In a position, and I'm not even including. I think it'll be good for him, be good for us. 115 grand a week off the wage bill. And he'll go and play in Turkey and he'll smash it. He'll smash, like Allaire has smashed it in the Dutch league.
And I think Anderson will smash it in Lazio.
In Lazio,
as well.
He bloody well will. He bloody well will.
Yeah.
I just want to show you another little cheeky image of him in the left there. He looks so happy with life right now. I mean, I just feel it's just I don't know.
No, he's going to put a couple of through balls to another great striker. He's got a couple. And who is he then? Oh yeah, Immobile. That was it. Yeah, for Italy again. Italy. Yeah.
Oh, here he goes.
Yeah.
Look, he's rubbing it in left, right, and centre.
Amazing.
This is what we need to do with that one. Let's see. There he goes. He can keep talking to himself for a little while. So yeah, we're talking about Benny, but whilst we're on the topic of Benny, we will come back to transfers in a minute. But look what we have seen kicking about recently. What do we think?
He's gonna. The only thing I don't like about that shirt is that effing block in the middle.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just do it the way on like the old book to kit? But it is what it is. I like it. It's all right. I like the shade of blue. Actually, it's proper. It's proper classic. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. Yeah.
Alf.
When I first saw it, I thought, Argentina, because it's that shade of blue that is very much Argentina. I thought it's kind of grown on me, this one, but I much prefer the home kit, which has really grown on me. This one hasn't.
Let me just bring that one up for you if you haven't seen it.
That's really grown on me.
Yeah, I kind of wish they had the button there. But hey,
what? Sorry.
What do you mean?
The button.
Do you mean how the kind of collar kind of overlaps in color with the blue color?
Yeah, I don't mind. I like it. I do actually like the home kit. But it's all right. Looking forward to the blue kit, the third kit.
The third kit coming out, yeah.
And who knows? We might get a fourth kit, a Europa League kit.
Yeah.
Knowing West Ham, that's what they'll do. They'll bring out yet another. I mean, we've not heard it.
Charge you 150 bloody quid to go and get it. I mean, 80 quid for a 5-year-old. I'm sorry.
Stop whining about it.
I am.
I told you, wait until the sale is on and get it for 40 quid instead. Simple.
You got Black Friday or whatever it's.
Exactly.
Or whatever
that's coming up. Oh, that's a good point.
Black Friday.
Or wait just to the end of the season, just like the rest of us, and just
like everybody else. Tell Freddie that what West Ham are doing is they're using the same kit as last year for the whole season. And Freddie, they've got it out. You know,
no, he doesn't. It's not his fault. He doesn't ask for it. It's my fault because I'm obsessed with getting him it.
Yeah.
And I'm the one that keeps feeding that system.
Listen, mate, we've got to deal with Umbro. All you've got to do is say, "Can I have a junior kit in the ones that you send me, please?" No one is going to begrudge you giving your boy a free kit from Umbro. We got a bloody deal.
Mate. Are you being nice?
I'm actually being nice, only because I've had a few drinks.
I've noticed that. Yeah, it's not like
seriously. When Umbro send you kits to give out freebies and all that, and for competitions, etc., just throw in, "Oh, by the way, can I have one junior kit?" Actually, no. Say, "Can I have a few?" Actually, play it. Can I have a few junior kits in order for some of our younger subscribers to win a junior kit? And then what you do is you slip one over to Freddie, and no one knows any better, do they?
You can tell
what's wrong with you?
You can tell he's had a couple of drinks, can't you?
Seriously, mate, you're spending 88 quid with a company that we've got a bloody deal with. Yeah. What's wrong with you? I mean, seriously.
Everything's wrong with me. Listen,
everything's wrong with you. And I'll tell you why. It's better when we're out your mouth, because it's just madness. I would fleece Umbro for everything they've got.
And here we go. This is the reason why these sponsors and partnerships leave us, because they watch these shows and still rips into them. Anyway, we're on 94 thumbs up. We need to hit over that 100 barrier in the next couple of minutes, please. 95 now. Please hit that thumbs up if you're watching. 160 live viewers, midnight. Del Boy still. Honestly, if only you guys knew. If you wanna hear Stel keep on ranting, just give us a thumbs up. Keep on hit that thumbs up. That's it. Let's get up to 1,000 likes. And Stel, over to you. Rant away.
I'm not. No. You're the one that's got the grumble. No.
You got
the grumble. Surely I couldn't tread on those grumble toes, mate. No.
I'm a very happy bunny these days.
So am I.
I don't know why. I don't know why.
Listen, let's get on to the topic. Let's get on to talk that everyone wants to talk about. Strikers, but in particular, I want to talk to you both about this man. Tammy Abraham.
No.
No. So, Alf, go to you first.
Why not, Alf? Why?
No.
Why?
Don't like him.
Why?
Seriously? Like him. Yes, absolutely. Don't like him. And I'll tell you why. And I've said it again. This is my time to rant now. I've said this time and time again. I saw him in the flesh a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago, for when he played for Aston Villa, and he was in the Championship, and he was pony, absolute rubbish. I tell you what, he didn't have a clue. He was scoring when he got to Chelsea. He was scoring a few goals. He got into England, scored a few goals, but basically anybody could have scored those. He was right in the 6-yard box, and that's all he was doing. He is not a striker for us. Even if he had some talent, he'd come to us and be completely wasted because we wouldn't know what to do with him. Sorry.
Would he end?
No, don't argue with me. No. I said no.
Hang on.
I said no.
I know you said no, but would he?
I said no.
Do you think he'll end up being another Carlton Cole? Is that your concern?
No,
like he sort of flatters to deceive. Really,
I think he does flatter to deceive a lot, but I don't. I think Carlton Cole would be unfair on Carlton Cole. I think.
All right, let me give you his stats. Let's forget the under-18s and under-23s and Swansea. You said he was pony at Aston Villa. He played 40 games, scored 26 goals.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that when I saw him,
so the one time that you saw him,
I actually saw him in a game. Yeah,
and then he
saw him play.
Okay,
I actually saw his movement.
All right,
the way he was moving. Yeah,
Bristol City, 48 games, 26 goals. Aston Villa, 40 games, 26 goals. Chelsea, 82 games, 30 goals, and that's mainly from the bench. And let's not forget, I think when I did this, because when I did one of my shows some time ago, I looked a little bit more into him because I wasn't convinced by him. I agree with you. But then I thought, hang on a minute, he scored a hatful of goals at Villa, a hatful of goals at Bristol City, all right, albeit weren't in the Premier League. And then when Chelsea If you're watching, leave a like. And then at Chelsea, when they had the embargo, they couldn't sign players. He got his chance, and he did really well. You know, so I think he'd be okay. I think he'd be okay.
But I'm going to ask everyone in the chat.
Would you take his own chances?
That's what I'm asking.
He doesn't create his own chances, and he doesn't work angles. He doesn't work.
Have you got a stress ball? Have you got a stress ball in your hand? You look like you do. You're stressing about talking about
There's a couple of tangerines that are on the desk here. And
he's going to smash them up in a minute.
But what I keep saying
Tammy Abraham. What I keep saying is, if we do sign him and he starts knocking them in for fun, I would openly hold my hand up and say, I knew it all along.
Well, you
I knew it all along.
No, you eat hot sauce live on the stream.
Seriously, what I keep saying is I want a striker who's in the box scoring. I don't want a striker going out on the wing, picking the ball up, and then crossing it into the striker where the striker isn't there because he's out on the wing. You know, I want a striker that's going to be a greedy bastard and is going to score 20 goals for us because he just wants to hang around in the box. And if that's Tammy Abraham, brilliant.
Yeah. Exactly. Brilliant. I've got no problem with that if we get the service into him. But historically, we haven't got the service into him. Look, the only goals coming from, or most of the goals coming from our striker, let's say, Antonio, they're not, 6-yard tap-ins, are they?
No,
most of the goals that we're scoring are not anywhere near the 6-yard box. In fact, you could argue most of them are not even from the penalty area. You know, they're coming from running onto the chances, just getting into the penalty area and scoring.
The chat's heavily split on him, to be honest. There's people
saying that. See a lot of the comments. Some say yes, some say no.
Yeah, some people are saying that Chelsea fans don't like him. Mickey's saying I don't think he even hits 10 to 15 goals. Yeah. Tammy, not sure. Yaremchuk would be ideal. He holds up the ball well.
Would he?
Like Antonio.
Unproven Yaremchuk. You know, I mean, he looked good in the Euros.
I like the look of him, I've got to say.
We kind of know. The one thing that Tammy has not got going for him is he's probably not a Moyes type player. You know, we keep saying this week in, week out. What Moyes wants, I'm going away tomorrow, mate. What Moyes wants is he wants an Antonio Mark II. And I've seen the comments about Traore. Forget Traore. We're not going to buy a winger who scored 10 goals in 3 seasons or however many, just because he's the younger version of Antonio.
Yeah. But that's what David Moyes likes.
For £30 million.
We're not signing him. I agree with you. We're not signing him. Of course we're not.
Do you know what? What concerns me about Tammy Abraham more than anything else is his body language, and it concerned their new manager Tuchel when he came in as well. It was almost like, I'm not playing you anymore because of the way you're acting on the way you're moving. Its body language says a lot, and I just don't think if he came to West Ham, I've got a strong feeling that he just would not be successful, and a lot of that is pretty much like we had with Haller as well. Just lots of body language. Just he could score a great goal if he was given the opportunity, and he put a couple away. Haller.
I'm telling you now, if Haller had stayed the whole season, we'd be playing Champions League next season. I stick to that.
But the thing is,
I absolutely stick to that.
There's probably method in the comment that Alf was saying, though. Your type of striker that Tammy Abraham is kind of borderline, is it not, slightly against what we've saw this season?
In what way?
What are you saying, Alf? No, just like with the whole kind of, is he not like the target man? I know we say and we think he draws back and he comes back. Will he do it to the extent that we've saw all season?
Don't think he's the Moyes kind of player, though. I just don't think he's hard working enough.
Yeah,
I just don't think he's hard working enough.
So if we don't think he is, then £30 million is a lot of money to play for a player that's
Moyes wants 11 minors on the pitch. He wants grafters. That's what he wants.
Yeah. Still, you ready for this one?
Go on. Whoever still predicts the opposite. I love Richard. He always wants to prove me wrong. I hope you're well, Richard. Thanks for watching.
No, I mean, if you're talking about players from the Euros, right? I think it's all, you know, we always know that looking at players from any international competition just before the league starts is a recipe for disaster most of the time, because they can have a great tournament either by luck or whatever, or they seem to play well for their national team, but put them in a club side, they're absolutely useless. You know, could we get a couple of Czech Republic players? Yeah. Could we get a couple of Russian players? Yeah. You know, whatever. We could get these sort of fringe players that had half decent Euros, but they're not. But really, they wouldn't work anyway.
Moyes has said that no one's impressed him at the Euros.
Exactly. This is my point. You know,
I just want to make a point on all these players that people are picking out, Danny Ings, etc. Aren't we the fans that go, we don't want players coming to the end of their careers, coming to West Ham, and then we're talking about players like Danny Ings, who's 29 years old and injury prone. I can't agree with that. You know, I think it's about time we started buying players. You know, we want a striker who's in his mid-20s, who's knocking them in. There's Adam Armstrong, who is still at Blackburn last year in his contract. Second highest goal scorer to Ivan Toney in the Championship last season, 25 years of age, will come for about £15 million. If Moyes is true to his word and he wants to bring a player that's young and hungry, that would be, and he's a grafter as well, Alf, like you said, would be a Moyes type player. And I'm actually surprised that no one has bid for him yet. I really am. I agree with you, Alf. I think Abraham probably doesn't work hard enough.
I think judging by what we said tonight, you know, you get the impression there's definitely quite a few deals trying to be worked out behind the scenes. You know, whatever we're talking about, you know, whichever players we're talking about, whether the strikers, midfielders, or defenders. But when will they arrive, and will they be the right choice? I've got to, you know, we've had such a great season last season. And and we always know that the success of any manager is based upon their signings. You know, if they make it, and up until now, Moyes has, and the club, I should say, have made some really good signings, and they've worked well. So, do we go for somebody like Tammy Abraham, or do we go for somebody who, you know, get them from a different league, let's say? Because if we try and get a Premier League player, that's it, forget it. You know, we're going to be paying way too much. We're going to blow all our budget on one player for a half-decent striker, let's say. So we need to either go into the Championship or to a foreign league to get them.
Well, that brings me on then. Let's discuss then. Let's discuss strikers. This will be the last question, because we are getting quite late and out into the 17th of July, which is now Saturday morning. If I gave you two guys an opportunity to sign two strikers, because I think that's actually what we probably need. I don't know if we will sign the two, but if we do sign two strikers, who would you want? Who's realistic, and who would you want? And what would you pay? Still.
Who's realistic?
Yes.
I think who's realistic is one of them is Adam Armstrong, like I just mentioned. I think he's a realistic target because of the type of player he is. He fits the Moyes mould. He's 25 years of age. He'll come for 15 to 20 million pounds. He'll be looking he'll be looking for the next step up. He'll be hungry and looking to prove himself. And given the fact that he was the second highest striker in the Championship, Moyes will look at that and go, he might be worth a shot, 15 to 20 million. Realistic.
Anyone else?
Well, you know, I can mention all the strikers that everybody wants: Klozek, Sema, etc., Yaremchuk, and so on and so forth. I just don't think they're realistic. I don't think Klozek will come to us. I don't think Yaremchuk would really be the right type of player. He looks like he is, but as Alf said, you can't just go on the Euros for that. And the fact that Moyes has already said no one's impressed him seems to discount anybody from the Euros. Difficult, because I don't think we'll buy more than one striker, so I couldn't even give you a second one. If you're talking realistic, someone like Armstrong is a realistic target.
Cool. Alf, anyone?
Well, Stel mentioned him before actually, but I would take Danny Ings like a shot because I think that I agree, injuries concern me, but I think he is definitely the kind of Moyes player and up there that we need. Somebody who's big, who's strong. Another player, and again, you're probably going to hate me for it, but as somebody like who's a good old-fashioned centre forward, good in the air with the head. That's who we need. Somebody like that. I know not a Chris Wood, but somebody like that we wouldn't have to spend a lot of money on. We wouldn't have to break the bank for, and I think we could get a couple of strikers in, £15 million each. Bish bash bosh, done. Thanks very much.
Schick, I don't know who just said that. Schick is a good shout. I like him, but I don't think Leverkusen want to let him go.
The situation we're in, though, is, listen, we haven't even got all of our squad back. I think we're expecting Souček, Soufal, Declan Rice, Fabianski, and Yarmolenko to report back, I believe. Is it next week? At some point next week?
No, they're off for 3 weeks, mate. The Euros only finished on Sunday. They've only had a week off. They've got another 2 weeks off.
So I thought it was what's his chops? Calvin Phillips was back at the Leeds. Have I missed something today?
Oh, if he is, I'm surprised because apparently the West Ham players have got up to 3 weeks off. So you're not going to see Declan for another week and a half to 2 weeks.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh.
And
according to an awful lot of social media columns and newspapers, we're not going to see Declan again in a West Ham shirt, which is a part
don't believe that. I don't believe that. Benteke is not a free because he did.
He's not free. He's signed an extended contract.
Yeah, he signed an extended contract with Crystal Palace, so he's back with them again. But listen, any other particular topics any of you want to talk about before we head for this evening?
Did I tell you I was going on holiday?
Well, listen, hold on a minute. Before we go,
I'm going to Madeira.
That's very nice. Yeah. Lovely this time of year, so I hear.
Yeah.
Listen, before we go, we're
on
100. Hold on a minute. We'll remove the two of them. We're all got 108 thumbs up. We need more thumbs up.
Shut up, mate! For God's sake.
150. We need 150, then we'll stop the show. But maybe that's not a good thing because maybe you want us to keep going. That's the problem. So we need 150. Come on, bring it to us. Give it to us. Give us that number. That's what we need.
It's almost like Anton. You're out with a begging bowl. Do you know what I mean? It's
horrible. Horrible.
It's almost like watching Oliver. Please, sir.
Yeah. Please, sir. Can I have more likes?
More.
What's the character he goes up to when Oliver does that? Fagin. Two of you are like Fagin.
No, that's not Fagin. No, it's not.
It's a workhouse manager.
It's the workhouse manager. It's not Fagin.
Yeah, but you two are like Fagin.
It's
together.
Seacombe. Harry Seacombe it was, wasn't it? Harry Seacombe.
It was Harry Seacombe.
Yeah.
Go on, Anton. Who?
That's
we're showing our age now. Everybody in the chat going, who, what? Who? Yeah, exactly.
That's how stupid you are. I love that. That's the best comment of the night. I love it.
There we go. And we've got 150 likes. There we go. Good.
No, we've not.
Should we go?
Listen, before we do go, Edouard
from Celtic. You know what? I'll take him on a free.
Yeah.
I actually would take him on a free. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Right.
The name of the
apart from the fact that he played for a shit team before, but there you go.
The name of the little Scottish midfielder who was an absolute crusher in the Euros is called Billy Gilmore. He's actually moved
and he's out on loan.
Norwich City on loan. Yep. But yeah, no, he was a good player. I actually thought that would have been quite a good shout to bring in, but I don't think Chelsea would want to do a deal with West Ham of that sort, which makes me think West Ham don't want to do a deal with Chelsea.
Well, Hudson-Odoi apparently is on the cards for a move, isn't he, as well?
Well, that's the interesting thing about Tammy Abraham, because Chelsea are trying to make an offer for Haaland, and they've potentially offered Tammy Abraham and or Callum Odoi as part of the deal. So they're kind of obviously touting out Tammy Abraham out there to try and get him off the rank. So we know he is available. It's just a case of how much the team's going to play.
I'd have Hudson Odoi over Tammy Abraham any day of the week. Any day of the week.
Yeah, but we need that. That's if we don't get Lingard, maybe.
Yeah, I'm banking on that we don't get Lingard. I'm assuming that we don't get Lingard now.
Yep.
I think it will happen. I think it'll happen.
I think
look, if it does, great.
I'm confident. I'm confident on it. Listen, Mickey has been asking this question all night. We've not got a chance to go around it. Would you take Pereira from West Bromwich Albion instead of another forward?
No, I take Pereira and another forward.
And another forward.
Yeah. I like Pereira.
I do. I think he's a very good player. People are asking, what's the situation with Nathan Trott?
Has
he gone?
I think he's on his way. Yeah. I'm pretty certain that was the
season-long loan. Yeah.
Season-long loan. Yeah.
Wow. Good move for him.
I think it's a good move for him. Yeah. Like I said, I think was it last night or the night before? Goes away for a season. If he does really well, he can come back and fight for that first team spot. You know.
Yeah.
But we've not really seen enough of him to really know how good he is. So
he's going. He's 22 years old, going to Nancy for a season-long loan. I'm just trying to see if there's any more information on him, but there's not really. So it'll be good for him, a good move for him, and I think it looks like we're going to bring in another goalkeeper, which I think is a good move for us as well. But lads, that brings an end to our show. It's 5-1 in the morning. Still, you're up and about.
Don't believe the hype, George. He's going nowhere.
Yeah, he's not.
What, mate? Sorry.
No, you're up in how many hours are you?
It's all right. Don't have to get up till 9 o'clock in the morning.
God, that's really, really, really late for you, isn't it?
That's really early, you mean? It is Saturday after all.
Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
Yeah, I'd have him as well.
Well, do you know what I would have said? Do you know what? A year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I would have said yes. But he went to Fulham, and I don't know really what did he really do at Fulham.
Didn't do much,
And I think that was the biggest thing.
That was for Fulham.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going, lads.
Yeah, right, cool. Listen, if you are watching
holiday, cheers.
Yeah, still have a good one. If you are watching, hit the thumbs up. If you are watching, please subscribe to the channel. And yes, thank you for joining us. And we'll be back.
I'll see you in a week's time.
What day's today? Don't even know what day's today.
Saturday now. Yeah.
We're back on Monday. Keep an eye on the channel. Thank you for watching. Come on, you Irons.